All right, good Monday morning, everybody. The Iceman here. Um, Monday Night Raw tonight. We'll see what the fallout is from last night's Extreme Rules pay-per-view provided by the WWE. Now, overall, I think the expectations of the show exceeded to really what most people thought. Um, in my eyes, I thought the show was pretty good. There was a lot of uh, different things that happened, a little bit of twists and turns here and there. And of course, we learned a couple hours or so before the show kicked off, the pre-show, that Daniel Bryan was not going to participate in the Intercontinental title belt. So what they did was they moved Wade Barrett to the pre-show and had him go up against Neville, which in my eyes was pretty much the right thing to do. I thought it was an excellent idea by the WWE, and Barrett and Neville put on a clinic in this match. This match went back and forth where both participants had near pinfalls throughout their match. Um, and I'll be honest with you, I really thought that Bad News Barrett was going to become the victor, but Neville got to the top rope, hit the red arrow, and was able to pin Barrett. And I thought that was pretty neat for the WWE and Bad News Barrett to put over Neville like this. Although I would have rather seen this match on the actual pay-per-view, it was on the pre-show, and I thought it was a smart move because this way they moved the tag team titles onto the main card. So I thought that was also a good move in itself as well. Now the show itself kicked off with the Chicago Street Fight with Dean Ambrose going against Luke Harper, and we don't usually see Dean Ambrose, get a victory very often on a pay-per-view. This was just a straight beatdown. This beatdown between the two of them went everywhere around the arena. Uh, we saw chairs involved and everything else, and it got to the point where the steel steps were getting involved and whatnot, and then they proceeded to beat down each other, and Ambrose chased Luke Harper out to the back, and he finally went out to wherever it was. There was a ramp there. There was like an SUV there. Luke Harper jumped into the SUV. Dean Ambrose jumped through the window. Harper took off, and they drove off. And everybody's crying and complaining, saying, "Well, the match isn't over yet. I mean, it's no disqualification match." Blah 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 blah. And I knew when they drove off, somewhere down the road on this pay-per-view, they would be back. But at this point, I thought the match was doing quite well. But like I said, you knew somewhere down the road they would be back. Next up, we had the Kiss Me Arse match with Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. This is the only match I was wrong on the outcome, was this one, because I picked Sheamus to win, just being his first pay-per-view back. This was a pretty good match. Any match you're with Dolph Ziggler, you're going to get a good match. And he worked well with Sheamus. And again, this was another brutal beatdown type of match where, near pinfalls by both contestants. And it was a good match. And at the end, believe it or not, Ziggler ended up rolling up Sheamus to get the win. Sheamus went literally nuts. He yelled at the referee. He yelled at the timekeeper. The referee's trying to get him to, go along with, the stipulation of the match of Kiss Me Arse. And he wanted no part of it. And he kept on a number of occasions looking like he was going to. And what it came down to was he ended up nailing Dolph Ziggler. He ended up getting him with a brogue kick. And what Sheamus did was take the butt of Dolph Ziggler and rub it, or the face of Dolph Ziggler, and rubbing it into Sheamus's arse. So that wasn't a bad match, actually. I don't try to do too many details because for people that haven't seen it, that still want to watch it, I don't want to give everything away. So then up we have the tag team championship match. Cesaro and Kid, the champions, against the New Day. Now I picked the New Day in my predictions And this was a good match. This was really a good match. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, they gel well together. And of course, the crowd was behind Kidd and Cesaro. Um, they were chanting the New Day sucks and whatnot, but of course, this is a Chicago crowd. Um, these two teams, they just worked well together. And there was a lot of distractions with this match. There was a point where Xavier Woods was outside the ring, and he was distracting people. So Natalia came over, and she gave him an uppercut. And Cesaro was distracted by that, and Kofi Kingston ended up taking him and rolling him up and getting the win. So we now have new WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day. So I was thinking about Simon Michael and David Rivera and Boston Fan and Heel Steven and Thrash Maniac 99 because we did the In the Hot Seat and we were having fun with the New Day. And, you know, so that's what, it just brought me to that particular point in time last Wednesday. So, yep, the New Day. Now, backstage, Renee Young was talking to the New Day. Here comes that SUV back in. And it was sort of ironic because when it left, Luke Harper was driving it. When it came back, Dean Ambrose was driving it. Luke Harper got out of the SUV. Ambrose went to leap onto Luke Harper. Harper got out of the way, and Ambrose landed on top of the three members of the New Day. And the street fight continued. And they went back into the ring, and there was just all sorts of kicks, super kicks, clotheslines. They threw a numerous amount of chairs into the ring. It was pretty awesome. And finally, Ambrose popped up and launched Harper off the top rope into the chairs. Ambrose with the dirty deeds, he got the win. So they finished this Chicago street fight as I figured that they probably would. It was a good match though overall. Now up next, we had video packages, and in pay-per-views, I mean, they show them all in the pre-show. Why show them on the actual pay-per-view? It was a video package of Cena and Rusev. But anyway, the United States Championship was next. The Russian chain match with the champion John Cena versus Rusev with Lana. This was one of those matches that you can really only do a lot. Of course, you can use the chain as a weapon. You knew early on that they were going to go tapping the ring post and get a couple here, and maybe three every now and then. And you knew we were going to see the accolade put on Cena, and of course Cena lifts him up and gets out of it. We saw the attitude adjustment by John Cena on Rusev. He also put him in the STF. But this went back and forth to the point where, both members of this match had three lights lit, and they were one away, and they came that close, and each time they were waved off. But the match went on for a little bit of time, and I thought it was a pretty decent match. They ended up towards the end, each getting three lights lit, so they both were, they were centered in the ring, and whoever got to that fourth turnbuckle was gonna win. Cena ended up getting the attitude adjustment on Rusev, and he went and he made the tap, and there you have it. Cena retains the United States Championship belt. Now, in the meantime, before this last part of the match, Lana was getting cheers from the fans. Rusev was getting upset. He sent Lana to the back. You saw Lana pouting as she walked off. And after the loss, Rusev was complaining to Lana, and she went in to see the Authority. And what basically happened there was she got another match at Payback. It's an I Quit match, which this, quite frankly, I think everybody already knows who's going to win this match already, because everybody knows John Cena never quits. So that should be an interesting thing. So then we had the Divas Championship match with Nikki Bella, the champion, with Brie along her side against Naomi, who of course took out Paige, so she became the contender in this match. And I did predict Nikki to win. I think it was just too soon for Naomi to, get the victory. It wasn't a bad women's match overall, and it looked like, Naomi, she had her momentum going, and if you saw her gear and her wrestling boots, they were neon colored, brightly lit, and it got to the point where, like I said, Naomi had a lot of momentum, but she did get nailed off to the ring ropes, and she previously had taken out Brie, but while Nikki was, distracting the referee, Brie gave Naomi a kick to the head, and Nikki, she's got that rack attack, and she ended up putting it on her, and she also ended up getting the win and defeating Naomi and retaining the WWE Divas title, which I'm not surprised. I thought it was a pretty good match, though, overall. Then up next, we have the last man standing match. I thought this was the match of the night, guys. Roman Reigns and Big Show. We all know what Roman Reigns was taking from Big Show recently. Big Show was always getting the better of Roman Reigns, but this match was like superb. Kendo sticks, tables everywhere. The crowd was basically behind Roman Reigns tonight, and I was glad to see that. And I think this match really, brought Roman Reigns. He emerged tonight. There was just so many segments where both guys were down a couple 9 counts on both of them. This match was, going through tables. We saw Roman Reigns get thrown through 2 tables outside the ring that he had set up to take care of Big Show. Big Show was going to slam Roman Reigns through a leaning table at the corner of the ring. Reigns got out of the way. Big Show went through the table. And then Big Show he brought out the steel steps. He put it by the announce table. And then he finally just tore up the announce table. And he was ready. He had Roman Reigns up there, and he was ready to slam Roman Reigns through the table. Roman Reigns got out of the way. Roman Reigns ended up throwing Big Show through that table. And they were making the count. And Big Show started getting up once again. Again, both these guys just could not stay down. But it wasn't until Roman Reigns took up the announce table, tipped it up, and threw it on top of Big Show, which pinned him underneath. Roman Reigns climbed on top of the tipped over announce table, and the referee counted to 10. Roman Reigns got the win, a much deserved win, a very, very exciting and entertaining match. And he went into the ring to celebrate, and I thought this was just absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. I really loved it. Like I said, I thought this was the match of the night. So we move on, and we end up having the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match in a steel cage. Randy Orton, obviously, the RKO was banned. Kane was the keeper of the gate. Randy Orton made a remark to Kane prior to the match that, basically about being in authority and doing the right thing and whatnot. And this match was okay. It started like 10:35 or 10:30ish, so I knew it wasn't going to get a lot of time, although it did run close to 30 minutes, I believe. There was a lot of Seth Rollins trying to climb out of the cage and whatnot, and that was pretty much what was going on. There was a lot of slamming into the side of the cage and stuff. And there was one point where J&J security came out and was trying to tell Kane, basically, help out Seth Rollins. And Kane basically got rid of both J&J security. Randy Orton, on a number of occasions, walked over to the cage door, and he knew something wasn't right. Well, anyhow, it got to the point where Seth Rollins wanted the door open, and Kane opened it, and Rollins ended up hitting the door. It slammed Kane, and it sort of pissed him off. And what happened there was Kane got so upset, he went in the ring, and he slammed both Rollins and both Randy Orton, and it was crazy. Mercury and Noble went in, he took them out. But all in all, after it was all said and done, Randy Orton gave Kane an RKO, which obviously is supposed to be banned, but I think that was only to be banned against Seth Rollins. And then what turned around was Rollins ended up giving Randy Orton an RKO, and both of them were out. Kane decides to drag Rollins over top of Randy Orton. But Orton, he got his shoulder up. He didn't get the 3 count. And then Rollins eventually, was able to crawl out of the cage door. It was great. It was great. And if it wasn't for that last the RKO that Rollins gave on Randy Orton, that is what gave him the opportunity to crawl through that door. So it was a pretty good night, pretty good show. I don't know, what everybody else really thought of it, but in my opinion, Roman Reigns and Big Show really stole the show, and so I'm really looking forward to Payback now. So we'll just have to wait and see what the matches are. So I've been long-winded in this video, so I think I'll close now. I may have got a little things out of order here in that championship match, but there was just so much to report and so much, to watch. But if you didn't get to see the show, it was pretty good. It was well worth watching. It exceeded my expectations. So peace out, everybody. Have yourself a great Monday Night Raw tonight.